What even is a brand in the context of Web3? We know what big brands like Nike or Coca-Cola represent, but how does that translate to this new digital space?
That's a great question. Because a brand in Web3, it's not just your username and that cool NFT you've got as your profile picture.
Right, it's got to be more than that.
It's the whole perception people have of you online. Think of it like this. Every time you post, every time you comment, every time you even just like something, you're sending out a signal. And all those signals, they come together to create your brand.
So it's about shaping that perception, right? Being intentional about how you present yourself.
Exactly. And it's especially important in Web3 because things move so fast. You've got to make a strong first impression. The Bark branding course makes a really good point. A well-chosen name can make you look like an authority, someone people trust.
But a bad name,
Hmm.
that can make you blend into the background, right?
Totally.
Almost like you invisible.
Yeah, basically. So yeah, your brand is what helps you stand out, build trust, and ultimately attract the right kind of attention.
And why is all that so important? What's the real benefit of having a strong brand, especially for someone who's just starting out in Web3?
Well, the course lays out some pretty clear advantages. A strong brand means more followers, more people engaging with your content. People are more likely to listen to someone they see as credible.
Makes sense. So a strong brand helps you grow your audience, but it also builds trust, which is huge in this space.
Huge, absolutely. It's kind of like a stamp of approval, right? Like, hey, this person knows what they're talking about. And when it comes to things like investing or deciding which projects to support, trust is everything.
Definitely. So, okay, how do we start building this amazing, trustworthy brand? Where do we even begin?
Well, according to the Bark branding course, step one is optimizing your name and handle. Sounds simple, but it's actually really important. Those are the first things people see, right?
Yeah, your digital first impression.
Exactly. And you want to make sure it's a good one. The course recommends keeping your name short, clean, easy to remember, ideally between 2 and 5 letters.
Short and sweet. Got it.
And one syllable, if you can swing it, they're just more impactful. Also, they suggest sticking to Latin-based or Western names just for broader accessibility.
Makes sense. So Bob is better than Bob Metaverse.
Pretty much, yeah. Keep it simple. And another key thing, your handle should ideally match your name or be very closely related. Consistency is key.
So, like Alice with the handle AliceWeb3, something like that.
Perfect example. Now, here's what not to do. Avoid random numbers, weird symbols, too many emojis. All that just makes you look less professional and harder to find.
Like you're trying too hard,
Yeah.
right?
Same with using fancy fonts from third-party apps. They might not show up correctly everywhere.
Oh, that's a good point. And here's a random tip. The course actually suggests checking if X's autocorrect messes with your chosen name.
Right, because if it does, people are going to have a hard time finding you. It's like instant invisibility online.
Instant invisibility. That's a good way to put it. Okay, so we've got a great name, a clean handle. What's next?
Next up is your profile picture, your PFP. In a world of NFTs and avatars, you really got to make sure yours stands out, but for the right reasons.
So how do we choose a PFP that's effective and represents our brand well?
Okay, first, think about X's dark mode. It's the default, right? So your PFP needs to pop against that dark background. High contrast is key.
Got it. So something bright and eye-catching.
Exactly. It's like your thumbnail on the X landscape. It's got to make people stop scrolling. And here's something interesting the Bark branding course brought up.
Yeah.
Consider the current meta.
The meta, you mean like what's trending in Web3 right now?
Yeah, exactly. Ideally, your PFP should connect you to an existing community or resonate with what's hot. It can even be a tool for content creation.
So it's not just about looking cool, it's about strategically aligning yourself.
Exactly. Now, authenticity is super important. The course strongly recommends using original artwork. Don't just crop someone else's work.
Right. Got to respect the artists in the community.
Absolutely. And of course, always upload the highest quality image you can. You don't want a pixelated mess, right?
Definitely not. The course also has some great questions to ask yourself about your PFP. Like, does it actually grab attention in a crowded space? Does it make people stop scrolling? Does it show your connection to a community? If the answer to any of those is no, maybe it's time for a refresh.
Yeah, a PFP refresh can be a good thing. It's your visual anchor, the first visual cue people get, so make it count.
Makes sense. Okay, we've got our name, our handle, our killer PFP. What's the next step in building our Web3 brand?
Step 3, and this one's a big one, verification. That blue check mark, the Bark branding course, really stresses how important it is.
Yeah, but is it really that big of a deal? Or is it just a status symbol?
Honestly, it's way more than just a status symbol. The course breaks down the benefits. First, it massively increases your reach. X's algorithm seems to favor engagement from verified accounts.
So your tweets and replies are more likely to be seen.
Exactly. Plus, in a space where there are a lot of bots and scammers, that blue check mark instantly makes you look more credible.
Like a seal of approval saying, hey, this person is legit.
Yeah, exactly. And beyond that, verification opens up some serious long-term monetization possibilities. X's subscription and revenue sharing programs, for example.
You mean you can actually make money just by being active on X?
Potentially, yeah. The course even gives examples of people earning over $10,000 per month through those programs. Now, obviously, that takes time and effort, but it shows the potential.
Wow, that's impressive. So verification helps with reach, credibility, and even earning potential. Sounds like a no-brainer.
The course actually calls it a must if you're serious about building a brand that can generate income.
All right, verified, check. Profile picture, check. What else is there?
Now we get to the heart of it all. Step 4 is mastering the art of posting on X.
So it's not just about posting whatever comes to mind, right? There's a strategy involved.
Definitely. The course talks about the 1-2-3 method for crafting effective posts.
1, 2, 3 method. What's that?
Okay, first, keep it short. 1 to 3 lines max. People are scrolling fast. You got to grab their attention quickly.
Short and sweet. Got it.
Second, spacing is key. Don't make your tweets these big, dense blocks of text. Use line breaks. Make it easy to read.
Okay, make it visually appealing.
Exactly. And third, structure. Always start with a strong hook, something that makes people want to read more, then deliver the value. Like, remember that example from the course? You don't need a bull run to get rich. You need attention.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Definitely made me stop and think.
See? So hook, value, all in a concise package.
It makes sense. Now, what about branding? How do we make sure our posts actually reflect our brand?
The course is big on consistency. Your content, your voice, everything should align with your overall brand identity. They also talk about the importance of posting at consistent times, training the algorithm and your followers.
Right, so they know when to expect your content.
Exactly. And show up daily if you can. It's all about staying top of mind. Now, it's good to be aware of trending topics, the meta, but always filter it through your own brand. Don't just jump on a trend because it's popular. Make sure it's authentic to you.
So every tweet is a chance to reinforce your brand.
Got it. Now, there's one part of the profile we haven't talked about yet. The banner image.
Ah, yes, the banner. It's often overlooked, but the Bark branding course actually has some good advice on how to optimize it.
I admit I've never really given much thought to my banner. What's the best way to use it?
Think of it as the backdrop to your stage on X. It should complement your profile picture and reinforce your brand.
Okay, so not just a random image. It's got to be strategic.
Right. Color scheme should align with your PFP. Keep it clean, uncluttered, minimal text if you use any, and make it impactful. Bold fonts,
So maybe include your name or a short tagline.
Exactly. Keep it consistent with your overall branding. The goal is to enhance your image, not distract from it.
Right. Banner, check. What else do we need to cover? Last but definitely not least, step 6 is all about being active in X spaces.
X Spaces, those live audio chats. Why are they so important?
The course actually says that actively speaking in spaces can get you up to 10 times more engagement than just scrolling through your feed.
Wow, that's a huge difference.
Right. And hosting your own spaces, that can lead to 100 times the growth in brand recognition. The power of live audio is undeniable.
So it's not just about posting, it's about actively engaging with the community.
Exactly. The course encourages everyone to just show up and talk, even if you're nervous or don't have a big audience yet. Consistency is key.
Just put yourself out there and start conversations.
Yeah, build those relationships, share your insights, and don't be afraid to host your own spaces. It's a fantastic way to position yourself as a thought leader and grow your audience.
Yeah. So that wraps up the Bark branding course. A lot of great advice there for anyone looking to build a strong, recognizable brand on X, especially in the Web3 world.
A really solid foundation. And remember, building a lasting brand takes time and effort. Be patient, be consistent, and those results will come.
Awesome advice. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we're diving into the fascinating world of Doginal dogs.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to that.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Hope you're ready for some more crypto insights.
Ready to go.
Now, we're going to shift gears a bit and talk about something that I know a lot of you are curious about, Doginal dogs. And you, our listeners, you love those surprising facts, those aha moments, right? Well, the story behind this project It's full of them.
Oh yeah, the history of Doginals, it's a real roller coaster. Dogecoin itself has come such a long way, from meme to a platform that supports these really cool advanced features.
Seriously, who would have thought? But before we get to Doginal dogs themselves, we actually need to go way back. Before Bitcoin even. The source takes us to the pre-2009 era, the time of the cypherpunks.
Right, because believe it or not, those early pioneers, they actually laid the groundwork for everything we're talking about today. They were the ones who first started experimenting with cryptography, privacy, decentralization, all the core concepts that drive crypto.
So these were the OG crypto rebels.
Pretty much, yeah. Early projects like DigiCash, Hashcash, B-Money, these were all early attempts to build decentralized systems. And the Cypherpunk Manifesto, that really captured their vision.
So even though they weren't directly involved in creating Dogecoin, their ideas were hugely influential.
Hugely. They were the ones who planted the seeds. And then along came Bitcoin, January 3, 2009, a date that changed everything.
The birth of Bitcoin, that was a game changer, right?
Absolutely. The history of Doginals really highlights how groundbreaking it was. The first truly decentralized digital currency. No central authority controlling it.
And it actually worked.
Yeah, which is what made it so revolutionary. The underlying blockchain technology, all laid out in the Bitcoin white paper, that's what made it secure and transparent. And that opened the floodgates for countless other crypto projects, including Dogecoin.
Okay, so Bitcoin proved the concept, and then a few years later, we get Dogecoin. But Dogecoin had a very different vibe, didn't it?
Totally different. Bitcoin was all serious, ideological. Dogecoin, it started as a joke.
The Shiba Inu Doge meme, right?
Yep. Billy Marcus and Jackson Palmer, they created Dogecoin kind of as a lighthearted response to the whole crypto scene. It was fun, it was playful, and it caught on like wildfire.
And surprisingly, it actually became a real, usable cryptocurrency.
Right. People used it for tipping, for charity, even for buying stuff. It showed the power of community, how a shared sense of fun could actually drive real value.
And then, fast forward to December 2022, we see the emergence of Bitcoin inscriptions. This is where things get really interesting, especially in relation to Doginal dogs. So what exactly are these inscriptions?
Okay, so basically, Bitcoin inscriptions allow you to embed data, like images, text, even code, directly onto individual Satoshis, the smallest units of a Bitcoin.
So it's like writing on a tiny, tiny piece of Bitcoin.
Yeah, kind of. And those inscriptions, they're permanent. They're etched onto the blockchain forever.
So they can't be altered or deleted?
Nope. Which makes them perfect for things like digital collectibles, NFTs. It's like having a digital artifact that's provably unique and can't be counterfeited.
That's pretty cool. So Bitcoin went from just being a currency to being a platform for all sorts of digital assets.
Exactly. And of course, the Dogecoin community, they saw what was happening on Bitcoin and thought, hey, why not us?
And that's where Apizord comes in, right?
Yep. This awesome member of the Dogecoin community, Apizord, they figured out how to adapt those inscription methods to the Dogecoin blockchain. So now you could inscribe data onto individual DOGE coins.
So Dogecoin got its own version of NFTs.
Exactly. And that opened up a whole new world of possibilities. Which brings us to the launch of Doginal Dogs on January 11th, 2024.
Okay, so tell me about Doginal dogs. What are they, and what made their launch so special?
Well, Doginal Dogs are basically pixelated images of dogs inscribed onto the Dogecoin blockchain. And what made them unique was that they were a free mint.
Free mint, meaning people could claim them without having to pay anything.
Exactly. It made them super accessible, which was a big part of their appeal. The project organizers even covered all the transaction fees, so it was truly free.
That's awesome. Very community-focused.
Very. And to participate in the free mint, you had to get on the whitelist. But even the whitelist process was unique.
How so?
Well, every day for a week leading up to the launch, they selected a small group of people based on their positive contributions to the Dogecoin community.
So it wasn't just random. They were choosing people who were actively involved.
Exactly. And then those people got to nominate others, so the whitelist grew organically through the community. It was a really cool approach.
Very cool. And it obviously resonated with people because the history of Doginals says that Doginal dogs quickly became the biggest Dogecoin inscriptions project.
Yeah, it really took off. Which just goes to show the power of community and the potential of Dogecoin to go beyond just basic transactions.
It's amazing to see how something that started as a meme has evolved into this vibrant platform for innovation.
It really is. And the history of Doginals makes a great point. Sometimes the most unexpected ideas, the ones that start as a joke, can lead to the most exciting developments.
It's all about pushing boundaries and having fun along the way. Okay, let's take another quick break. When we come back, we'll be talking about how you can actually leverage your Doginal dog, especially on X, to build your brand and potentially even make some money.
Looking forward to it.
Welcome back for our final segment. All right, so let's say you were lucky enough to snag a Doginal dog. You've got this cool, unique digital asset. Now what?
Yeah, the big question is, how do you turn that ownership into something valuable, especially on a platform like X? Our final source for today, monetization, gets into the nitty-gritty of that.
Perfect. Our listeners are all about actionable advice, and it sounds like this source is packed with it. So where do we begin?
Well, step one might sound familiar. Remember how we talked about the importance of verification in the Bark branding course?
That blue check mark.
Yep, that's it. Monetization doubles down on that. It basically says verification is non-negotiable if you want to be taken seriously and unlock the full potential of your Doginal dog.
Okay, so verification is like the key that unlocks everything else.
Pretty much. The source points out that verified accounts get more visibility, more engagement, and they just look more trustworthy. Especially important in the sometimes shady world of crypto, right?
Right. Got to build that trust.
Exactly. And on top of that, verification is often a requirement to access X's monetization features, like subscriptions and revenue sharing.
So you can actually earn money from your content.
Potentially, yeah, if you build a strong enough brand and audience. But that all starts with getting verified. It's the foundation.
Okay, verified, check. What's next?
Step two is building your verified network.
Verified network, meaning connecting with other verified accounts.
Exactly. See, to participate in those monetization programs, you often need a certain number of verified followers, usually around 500.
So it's not just about having a lot of followers, it's about having the right kind of followers.
Yep. And the source suggests some strategies for building that network. Start by following other verified accounts in your niche, engage with their content, be genuine, build those relationships.
So quality over quantity.
Always. Now, step three takes us back to something we talked about before, the importance of posting strategically.
Right, because just being verified and having a network isn't enough. You got to have something interesting to say.
Exactly. Monetization stresses the importance of creating high-quality content consistently. Keep those tweets short, impactful, grab attention with a strong hook, then deliver value. Remember the 1, 2, 3 method.
Oh yeah, short, spaced out, and with a hook.
That's it. And use visuals if it makes sense. Images, GIFs, memes, all that can make your posts stand out.
Makes sense. Now, what about this money posting strategy? Sounds kind of intriguing.
Yeah, money posting is all about tapping into the massive audience of really big accounts, those with millions of followers.
How do you do that?
It's simple, really. Set up notifications for those accounts and be one of the first to reply to their posts.
But not with spammy comments. Right?
No, definitely not. The key is to be relevant, insightful, add value to the conversation. Maybe ask a thought-provoking question or share a unique perspective.
So it's about strategically inserting yourself into high visibility conversations.
Exactly. And if you do it well, you can potentially get seen by a huge new audience. Now, step 5 encourages you to go beyond just basic tweets and really leverage all of X's features.
Like what?
Well, there are lists which help you organize the accounts you follow, communities where you can connect with people who share your interests, articles for longer form content, and of course, videos.
So mix it up. Experiment with different formats.
Exactly. Figure out what works best for you and your audience. And finally, step 6 might seem obvious, but it's often overlooked. Stay active and be positive.
That sounds simple enough.
It is, but consistency is key. Engage daily, comment on other people's posts, share valuable content, and just generally be a positive force in the community.
So it's not just about what you post, it's about how you interact with others.
Exactly. Be helpful, be supportive.